Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The third and final match of the day. Team LVC versus the Boston Bounce, a matchup we've been looking forward to for a long time. Bounce really impressive in their VLA debut despite the loss to the Chicago Icemen a couple hours ago. And LVC taking the first two sets of the day before barely falling to Chicago 15-13 Game 5. So both really good competitive teams. A great match coming your way. Thanks for tuning in, first of all. If you're not already subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do so. Hit the button, share the stream with your friends. And just a couple minutes here from warm-ups being done. Check out the guys just banging some balls in the background. We will introduce the starting lineups and give you volleyball in just a few minutes. So thanks for joining us, and stay tuned for the match. Sorry?
How you doing?
Great.
All right?
Yes.
Are these games online?
Yes, they are.
Oh, cool. How would someone find it?
It's on YouTube, on the league's YouTube channel. It should be pretty easy to search and find it. Just search Volleyball League of America or whatever, and or if they go to the website, our website, there's a direct link to it.
Oh, cool. Who won the last match, you know?
Chicago beat Boston 3-0, and then Chicago beat New York 3-2 this morning. They're both really good matches.
Are there, how many teams are there?
3 that are here this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, we were here
For this morning.
1 to 5.
Yeah.
1 to 5. That was like 2 different matches.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Starters only is fine. Up to you guys. back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Buffalo Niagara Sports Center for the third and final match of the day of live VLA action featuring the Boston Bounce and the home team, New York's team, LVC. Make some noise for them. Come on. Let's meet the starting lineups for the two teams. First, the Boston Bounce. A 6-foot setter from Feeding Hills, Massachusetts, number 12, Colin Ritter. A 6'8" opposite from Cambridge, Massachusetts, number 1, Jalen Penrose. A 6'1" outside hitter from Bayonne, New Jersey, number 3, Josue Castillo. A 6'5" outside hitter from Richmond, Rhode Island, number 13, Brad Borsay. A 6'7" middle blocker from Pennington, New Jersey, number 18, Ali Icemen. A 6'6" middle blocker from Hampton, Massachusetts, number 36, Jake Modesto. And a 6-foot libero from Newington, Connecticut, number 7, Jordan Abria. Boston is coached by Bill Villa. And the New York Legion team, LVC. A 6'4" setter from Massapequa, New York, number 2, Christian Smith. A 6'3" opposite from East Greenbush, New York, number 1, Chris Hosley. A 6'7" outside hitter from Victor, New York, number 7, Dan Glamick. A 6'4" outside hitter also from Massapequa, number 23, Nick Smith. A 6'6" middle blocker from Burton Hills, New York, number 8, AJ Witkowski. And a 6'7" middle blocker from Reading, Pennsylvania, number 9, John Keller. And a 6'2" libero from Cornwallville, New York, number 6, Andrew Fishman. Team LVC are coached by CJ Dank and Jesse Walker. Let's get to the match, ladies and gentlemen. Both of these teams looking for their first win on the weekend after both being defeated by the Chicago Icemen earlier today. The Boston Bounce in purple on the near side of your screen making their VLA debut this weekend out of VLA Tier 2. Were really impressive in their first match against Chicago despite the loss. I loved what I saw from this team, proving that they can compete at this level right away. And with a player the caliber of Jalen Penrose, number 1 in purple, at the opposite, that is easy to see once you see this guy attack the ball. But of course, Team LVC, they played back in January in Indiana, going 1-2 in a 3-match series against Team Pineapple. And they went up 2-0 this morning against Chicago before the Icemen made an inspired comeback, winning 15-13 set 5. Both teams really deep this weekend, both with in the ballpark of 15 players to choose from. So you're going to see a lot of different looks from both of these teams, see how they're moving around throughout the match. Starting us off on the near side of your screen, serving for the Boston Bounce, setter number 12, Colin Ritter, out of Wentworth Institute of Technology, who I was really impressed by in the first match, despite his slightly undersized height at about 6 feet. Got a nice little hybrid serve that he changes a lot of pace with, and here it is. Glamick right away through the arms of Penrose, I believe. And off the middle back defender, Josue Castillo out of play, and Team LVC on the board first. I want to thank everyone for joining us live on the VLA YouTube channel. I am Rob St. Clair. Last match of the day, 3 more tomorrow. Great weekend of volleyball. We are excited that all of you are watching from wherever you're watching at in the world. As Christian Smith starts us off serving for Team LVC. This is Penrose on the left side. And right on cue, just in case you didn't believe me about how much of a baller this guy is. Maybe now you know with that hammer on the left side in rotation 1. This is Brad Borsay, number 13 in purple out of Sacred Heart, who I was also really impressed by in the first match. Great arm, nice hand contact, good jump spin serve there. This is Glamick on the right side into the block of Castillo. And he is rejected. Number 3 in purple, Josue Castillo. Making the great move to the outside to close the door on Dan Glamick in rotation 1. Borsay again. Overpass by Glamick, kept alive somehow, a kick save, and able to be sent over as a free ball. Ritter to Penrose, down the line and out of bounds. Great looking swing, but missed the sideline. And the diving save, I believe, by Chris Hosley. And then a kick save by somebody over there in black and pink flamingos on the far side of your screen. And eventually a free ball sent over to stay alive. And the hitting error gives LVC a pretty crazy point there. Glamick back to serve. From here in Western New York, but traveled all the way to Long Beach State to play collegiately. Nice block there from Witkowski. Penrose again into the block, dug pretty well by Christian Smith. Glamick can have a swing at this, off the tape, picked up by a diving Jordan Apria. Hosley on the right side, threw a seam in the block and down. 38 years of age, Chris Hosley, maybe even 39 by now. The godfather of Team LVC, number 1 in black. Still in phenomenally good shape. Love to see him getting out there and playing. Good server, good consistent attacker. Hammered through a seam that time by Castillo. That will be an interesting matchup throughout this match. Chris Hosley versus Josue Castillo. Neither one of them is the biggest guy in the gym. We've already seen them both have success attacking the ball. We're tied up at 3 here early on set number 1. As this is middle blocker Jake Modesto to serve. Perfect pass. Big attack to Glamick off the platform of Ritter and way out of play. I love that set choice from the former National Player of the Year setter, number 2 in black, Christian Smith out of SUNY New Paltz. Playing with his brother this weekend, his brother Nick, number 23 in black at the outside hitter spot. So 2 of the 3 Smith brothers, not including their oldest brother, who also played at New Paltz, on the court for LVC this weekend. Castillo again is roofed by Chris Hosley, and just as I talk about that individual matchup, there it is, that strong right hand from the LVC captain. First look of the weekend at number 18 in purple, Ali Icemen. 6'7" middle blocker for bounce. See how quickly it takes him to get involved in the offense, and there he is right on cue. Off the block, I believe, with John Keller and out of play. Jalen Penrose, 6'8", 26 years of age. Had an incredible collegiate career at Penn State before playing in A1 Germany for the last 4 seasons. Absolutely goes after it from the service line there and all other times. Missed that one long, but that is obviously something that Boston can live with because the return on that investment of a couple service errors is tremendous. Hosley with the spinner, handled pretty well by Borsay. This is Castillo on the left side again, rolled over the top, picked up by Nick Smith to Christian Smith to Glamick. Out of the pipe again, and there it is 2 times in a row now. That quick back row pipe or Bick attack. That middle back outside hitter flying down the center of the court, jumping from behind the 3-meter line. And such a fun thing to watch. It's become a huge part of high-level men's and even women's volleyball over the past several years. Good move by Castillo to get out there and pass that ball. Icemen high on the 31 off the fingertips of the block and deflects long. Icemen, another Wentworth Institute guy, Division III GNAC school, played with his setter here, Colin Ritter, for a long time in college, so that connection very much there. First look at Castillo from the service line. 31 years of age, great jumper, big arm. Tough pass that time by Fishman. What a platform set from Smith, all the way out to his brother. And Nick Smith with his first kill of the match, chopping that one down the line off the hands. As good as Christian Smith, the setter for LVC, is at just about everything, one thing that can't be overlooked is his ability to bump set. We've seen it so far today. We saw it back in Indiana in January. The dude's accuracy with his platform is unbelievable. Good rip by Nick Smith, basically absorbed as an attack by Jordan Apria. And what a block that is. John Keller, number 9 in black. Longtime LVC guy out of Rutgers. The gigantic stuff block that time against Borsay, with Christian Smith and Dan Glamick there as well. Good start here for Team LVC. They're coming out firing. I like that. Another good rip from Smith, off the tape, handled by Borsay. This is Penrose out of the back row. Either the blocker touched the antenna or the ball did. No call, and ends up being a termination from Glamick off the block down the line. Just the the sheer force and speed of the ball moving is having reverberant effects on all the equipment here in the gym. Just, I can't get enough of watching Jalen Penrose hit the ball. That ball a little bit set far outside the antenna for him, and a good defensive transition look. Turns into a transition kill for Glamick for LVC. And the run finally ends in the Nick Smith service error. But a pretty good trip to the line that time for the young LVC outside hitter. Not a good service error that time by Icemen. Hit that ball downwards into the bottom tape. I like the aggressive jump float serve, but he's got to contact that ball much higher. This is Keller with the jump spinner, barely handled by Castillo. What a pass that was. And an excellent swing by Borsay, hard into the outside hand of Christian Smith. Deflects way out of play. Great swing, great utilization of the block. Pin hitters at this level, and even middles too, they don't fear the block. They understand what the block is taking away, how to use it to their advantage. Hitting off the high parts of the fingertips, tipping it into the block to restart and cover the point on their side. These are things that high-level outside hitters and opposites do all the time. As you see, Ritter miss that serve out of bounds. Early 12-7 lead here for Team LVC in set number 1. Of course, we play best 3 out of 5 sets to 25 points, with teams needing to win by 2. Good pass that time from Apria. This is Borsay on the right side. Nice block touch by Witkowski. And nobody deep into the court for Boston Bounce to cover that. Stuff block for number 8 in black, A.J. Witkowski. Burnt Hills, New York native, 32 years of age, out of Endicott University. He was the MVP of a match, maybe even 2 matches, back in the Kickoff Classic in July. So this dude can ball, for sure. Tough hand pass from Apria. This will be Penrose against 2 big blockers on the left side. Nice stab by Hosley. Another chance here for Boston. Penrose again, absolutely destroyed. Sharp cross court. Wow, what a piece of offense that is. It is such a luxury for any team in this league or at this level to have a guy of Jalen Penrose's caliber who, when in doubt, you can throw the ball up to the ceiling to him, and against any number or size of blockers, he will go up and get it and score at high efficiency. Just barely out of bounds on the Borsay serve. I like that look. Going to his left sideline, but just misses it wide. Another service error, this time by Glamick of LVC, who's a cool story this weekend. I was talking to Captain Chris Hosley on the Deep Corner of my podcast a couple weeks ago, and he told me that Glamick was coming to this event, but he didn't tell me it publicly. We didn't publish it because Glamick has been working and living in Southern California, hasn't seen his family here in Western New York since the pandemic began. We knew that he was coming, but we didn't tell anybody, including his family. It was a total surprise last night when he flew in and surprised his family at his home here in Western New York. So that was a cool moment, a cool story to talk about this weekend. Castillo over the top of the block. That's 2 touches, 3 sent over as a free ball. Icemen somehow kept alive, and a free ball now for Team LVC. Oh, no touch that time off the block. That was Keller cross body straight into the tape. It bounced kind of straight up and back on the LVC side, so a missed opportunity there after a nice block move that Keller made against Icemen in the play before. Penrose again. His team already trails by 5. This is a nice opportunity to get some of them back, and just barely out of bounds on the heavy arm jump spinner. Hosley again, let's just say a very different breed of server from Jalen Penrose. Extremely consistent, great hand contact, targets the right player. And there's Icemen again off the dish from Colin Ritter off the block and out of play, the Wentworth connection. I like seeing the movement. Jordan Apria, libero, number 7 in white for Boston. I like seeing the movement in the serve receive pattern. Once Apria knows that he's not taking that ball in serve receive, he immediately books it over to left back, and there's a stuff block there out of the middle. Icemen got the most of that one. I think Borsay there as well. And that ball maybe a little bit underset that time for John Keller. Maybe a little run developing here from Boston on the serve of Josue Castillo. Let's see who he goes at this time. Rotation 4 receive for Legion. Great rip. Clips the tape handle really well by Glamick. Keller again, this time a nice reaction by Apria. Castillo out of the back row, blocked, covered. Third contact, not quite sent over though by Penrose. Nice reaction that time by Jordan Apria off the weird little block touch. Reacting, twisting his body, and getting a decent first touch on that ball. But the LVC block eventually too good. Nick Smith again, who had a couple-point run in his last serve. Nice one there, right into the seam. Penrose out of the back row, off the tape between a seam. Big transition opportunity here. Thrown into the block and covered by Glamick. Glamick again got the touch on Ritter on its way out of bounds, and a really smart play by number 7 in black. Something that we're seeing more and more in the high-level men's game. Pin hitters in these tight ball, out-of-system situations, just taking that ball, pretty much throwing it into the outside hand of the block and wiping it off so it lands out of bounds. 18-12, a nice commanding start here for LVC up until that Nick Smith service error. Service substitute in here, number 23 in purple, Alex Raskind, out of the University of Michigan, backup setter and opposite, got a really good hooking left-handed jump spinner. Nice one there, going down the line, working on Smith. This is Glam against 2 blockers, and sharp cross court, he puts it away. Out of the reach of Josue Castillo, and the service sub will be undone here. Raskin back to the bench. See what kind of a serve John Keller goes with here for Team LVC. He's got a jump spinner. Looks like that's what it'll be. Handled really well by Apria, right on the net. Borsay a little bit outside the antenna for that ball. Smith to Glamick, straight down the line off the block and out of bounds. I don't know if Borsay slipped on his way in his approach that time, or if that set was just way further outside than he was expecting. But the connection not there off a pretty good pass, and that's going to be a Boston bounce timeout. Already down by 7. Maybe a little surprised that timeout didn't come earlier. But plenty to talk over for Coach Bill Villa on the Boston sideline. We'll be right back for the conclusion of set number 1. Stay tuned. See if this bounce timeout is enough to cool off John Keller from the service line, make him think about this one a little bit. Rotation 6 receive here for bounce. Oh, that's a good rip out of the timeout, but an even better pass. No block up, but Penrose is dug anyway, miraculously by Smith. Free ball sent over here. Smith barely able to run it down again. 2 defensive plays in a row. Hosley out of the back row into the block, dug by Penrose. Borsay high into the hands. A terrific block touch by Smith, who reacts and sets his brother out of the pipe. A great rally developing here. Penrose again. Did he get the touch on its way out of bounds? No, not quite. What a rally that was. Guys flying all over the court defensively. 2 terrific defensive plays by Nick Smith that time in middle back for Team LVC. And the connection, I think, on the bounce side between Colin Ritter and Jalen Penrose just not quite perfect. Maybe the ball a little bit too far outside the antenna for him on average. The run is over, though, as Keller blasts that serve out of bounds, but a pretty comfortable lead here for LVC, 21-14. Good spinner there from Ritter. Hosley on the right side, cross court, dug by Ritter. This might be Penrose on the right side, out of system. Yes, it is. Rolled over the top. Picked up by a diving Fishman. Smith out of the back row. Apria makes the read. Borsay with not a lot of transition. Dug cross court again by Fishman. Where does Smith go here? Glamick down the line again off the block of Penrose and out of play. Glamick having a lot of success tooling the right side blocker with that aggressive crossbody swing down the line. He is not trying to hit the court on that play. All he wants is to catch a piece of the blocker and for it to carry out of bounds. 22-14 LVC. Penrose again, and that is just absolutely unstoppable. Dan Glamick, that right side blocker that time, is 6'7", a very good physical blocking presence. And Penrose just casually hit it as hard as he could off the top of his hands and knew it was going to carry long. 15-22. This is Borsay. Rhode Island native out of Sacred Heart. Good rip that time down the line. Hosley runs it down into the scorer's table, but the third contact not quite good enough. Nice hustle by the 39-year-old. Heck of a rip that time from Brad Borsay. Just hammering wrist away. I like that he's targeting, well, actually, in this case, not the front row outside hitter Nick Smith. Pretty good hand pass by Fishman. This is Glamick on the right side. High into the hands. Another good adjustment from Apria. This is Castillo against 3 blockers. Dug by Nick Smith in the back row. Glamick again. Oh, Boston's got to have this point. Penrose high into the hands. Another great block touch, this time by Witkowski. Smith out of the pipe, another dig. Castillo blows up Hosley cross court. Casually stabbed at one-handed by Penrose. And now finally put away Castillo. What a rally that was. Play had absolutely everything. Both teams absolutely giving it their all. Defensively blocking, guys working as hard as they can. And an excellent piece of range that time by number 3 in purple, Josue Castillo, to finally put it away. Fishman with the overpass. Big chance here for Boston. Big attack to Borsay. Crossbody absolutely destroyed. And don't look now. Boston back within 4. This is not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. And Coach CJ Danka, Team LVC, recognizing that very thing, calling timeout to slow down the momentum in this tough rotation. Excellent comeback here by Boston in set number 1. Really playing with a lot of fire and intensity and energy right now. Really fun to watch. Can they keep it up out of the timeout? Stay tuned to find out. Borsay continuing to serve out of the timeout. This could be the continuation of a huge run. And I think a substitution in here, number 14, Chris Hoosman, replacing Chris Hosley. We'll see if it's just for this rotation. And a great timeout by Team LVC forces the service error. That one by Borsay, not even close. And Hosley will indeed come back in. I actually like that substitution. I think more teams should do that. When you have an opposite in rotation one who doesn't love hitting on the left side, bring someone in for him off the bench for that one rotation just to get his side out and then put the original guy back. I like that. Good pass that time by Apria. This is Penrose on the right side. Over the top of the block, sharp cross court. And misses everything. Trying to slice off some serious range that time. And a great timeout by Team LVC. They score 2 points in a row and now set point. 6 of them, 24-18 on the serve of Dan Glamick. Castillo tight to the net, rolls it over. Glamick is rejected one-on-one. What a read by Jake Modesto, number 36 in purple, out of Stevens Institute of Technology. What a great read that was. I love the set choice by Smith on the Bic, but Modesto is one step ahead. 1 set point saved by Boston. Excellent pass by Nick Smith. Gets this ball right away down the line, out of bounds, no touch. The run continues. I think that was a good call. No touch on the Penrose block. Nice disciplined job by not reaching to the outside. Modesto again. And the run ends with the service error short. But even though Team LVC does take this set 25-20, Boston really created some momentum in the late stages there that they will definitely carry over to set number 2. That will be very interesting to watch, see if the team is making any changes, making any lineup adjustments, any strategy adjustments. A lot more volleyball to play here. Stay tuned in a few minutes for set number 2. Love that.
I see you, girl, from afar across the court. I see you.
Set number 2 coming your way live here from Buffalo. This is Rob St. Clair, live on the VLA YouTube channel. Thank you guys for joining us. LVC took the first 25-20. But Boston with a serious comeback there towards the end. They were down by a little more than that throughout the set. 2 nice runs to gain some momentum, and we'll see if they can run with it here. Trying to get their first match of their VLA existence. No lineup changes that I'm noticing so far for either team. And it'll be setter for LVC, Christian Smith. Back to serve for Team LVC on the near side. Good pass by Castillo. Oh, excellent delivery that time from Ritter, but an even better block touch to slow it down. Nick Smith out of the back row is dug, but a net violation committed there by Boston. So LVC here on the board first. Even though this is Boston's first match as a VLA Tier 2 team, these two teams know each other well. Obviously, both in the East Coast have played a lot of the same tournaments. Chance for Castillo, who's dug by Smith. Nick Smith now dug by Penrose off the block touch, and Glamick with the rejection on the setter dump attempt of Colin Ritter. Anyway, a lot of these guys have played together or against one another a lot before. There's some familiarity in this matchup. You'll see if this develops into one of the VLA's better rivalries as Boston plays more matches. Nice roll shot by Borsay, picked up easily though by Fishman. Smith out of the back row again! Smith to Smith is just fun to watch. I love how often Christian is using that quick back row big attack, and I love how often Nick is ready for it. I think they overlapped by at least 1, maybe 2 years of their collegiate careers at SUNY New Paltz. Nick Smith, the only 2-time national champion in that program. What a stuff block that is! Dan Glamick, you've got to be kidding me. 1-on-1, closing the door on Jalen Penrose. What a move by number 7 in black. Straight to the highlight reel. Whew, happy homecoming, Mr. Glamick. Smith again, 4-0 New York. Repeat set, and I like that choice. Penrose hitting the ball even higher this time. Misses it out of bounds, no touch. Penrose explosive, flashy, but I wouldn't say that productive offensively so far. But you already know Ritter's just going to keep going back to him. Borsay down the line. What a piece of offense that is. I did not think there was very much space there between Chris Hosley and that antenna, but Borsay found it. I don't think Smith really was expecting that either defensively and right back. Ritter here with the hybrid serve. Going with the spinner that time. Beautiful pass from Nick Smith, and Witkowski wrist away. An easy looking put away by number 8 in black. All starts from the pass. A great piece of serve reception by Nick Smith, who I'm really impressed by so far. Both of these teams, Bounce and LVC, heavily feature NCAA Division III products, and everybody here in the Northeast knows, as Modesto puts that one away, another D3 guy from Stevens, everybody here in the Northeast especially knows how good that level of volleyball is. Starting with teams like Springfield in Massachusetts and SUNY New Paltz at the top that are routinely contending for championships. You've got a lot of the GNAC programs, LaSalle, Wentworth, you've got Stevens, you've got Endicott, you've got a bunch of cool D3 representation here, and these guys can play. Borsay working on Smith. Smith to Smith, high into the hands, really good block touch there by Modesto. Where does Ritter go here? Castillo straight down the line. Explosive for number 3 in purple. And that time, Chris Hosley, the right side blocker for LVC, very intentionally leaving the line open. Smith close to making that defensive play, but not quite there. Nice pass by Andrew Fishman. Smith down the line on the left side again. It's fascinating to watch brothers play with one another because you have no idea, how long they've been playing with one another. But their relationship is different from every different pair of brothers, of course. You would think that they would have a great connection. And what I'm seeing so far is that the Smith brothers absolutely do. Christian really trusts Nick, especially in his first weekend with Team LVC. That's a stuff block that time. Jalen Penrose high off the hands. That ball could have been covered by bounce, but it lands just inside the sideline. Keller making a difference in the blocking end right now in his first, I believe his first VLA action. I think his first volleyball action period in quite a while. Castillo swiped into the block of Hosley, but he's rejected. The LVC captain not fooled. And a dominant start here by Team LVC, up 9-3. Where's Ritter going to go here for some offense? Castillo on the left, sharp cross court, just out of bounds. Off the tape, but not off the block. No timeout here from Boston, already down by 7, 10-3. I'm sure the wheels are turning in Coach Bill Villa's head about what he can do to end this run and change the momentum. Penrose, high ball, hammered deep cross court. That certainly is one way to do it. I believe this is Modesto back at the service line. Yes, it is. Working the roll shot on Nick Smith. Keller into the block. What a miraculous cover. Yeah, third touch sent over. Free ball opportunity here for Boston. Oshman is dug by Fishman. Glamick, a little bit of a traffic jam there on the back row attack. Penrose can have a swing at this. Sharp cross dug by Nick Smith. Christian Smith, excuse me. Hosley rolled the Borsay. Boston's got to have this. Penrose, and they do. High, deep, cross-court angle again. And when you're 6'8", you can take the ball off the top of the antenna like Jalen Penrose can. That is never a bad shot to go for. The LVC block has done a great job against him so far, but there's only so high that they can reach. As Modesto opted for the float serve that time and missed it short. Fearless leader Chris Hosley from the service line with his team up by 6. Great pass by Borsay. Castillo, really good block touch by LVC, but the dig, unfortunately, in between the Smith brothers, and neither of them keep it alive. So effectively a kill there for Josue Castillo. Again, really impressed by the LVC block. Both Keller and Witkowski are making great moves. Serve kept in play by Penrose off the tape. Really good pass by Glamick. And a high reaching contact by Nick Smith. High, deep cross court again. That angle doesn't just work for Jalen Penrose. It works for everybody if you can climb the ladder like Nick Smith can. Nick, one of the biggest Kobe Bryant fans you will ever meet. Might hear some Mamba hisses coming from the LVC bench. Great serve there, clips the tape. Borsay out of the back row, dug easily by Fishman. Opportunity here in transition. Smith out of the pipe again. What a dig by Penrose. Castillo, sharp cross court. That is an outstanding play by Boston. A legitimate in-system look out of the pipe. Nick Smith one-on-one cross body, but a great defensive play by Jalen Penrose. So good that Boston has a transition opportunity right away. And a cross-court put away by Josue Castillo, who goes back to serve now, down by 5. Another serve that almost takes out our camera. At least that one was coming off the floor instead of right off the server's hand. 13-7, John Keller now. Not very good hand contact that time. Handled easily by Apria. Out of the middle. Oshman dug pretty easily. Glamek cross-court dug by Castillo, and then fisted straight to the floor smartly by A.J. Witkowski. Waiting for that ball to reach the plane of the net, not reaching too far over and committing a violation. The very casual tap down from the veteran LVC middle blocker. Rotation 5 receive here for Boston. Borsay and Oshman, the front row hitters. Great rip that time by Keller. This will be Borsay, and he's rejected by Christian Smith. Deflects off of Borsay on its way out of the bounds, and that is a terrific block move by a pretty good-sized setter, Christian Smith, at every bit of 6'4". The LVC dominance continues, 15-7, an 8-point lead. Just putting the pressure on, serving, blocking, and playing great defense. Penrose out of the back row, down the line. I think that caught a piece of the antenna. Yes, it did. John Keller there anyway, defensively. And even though Jalen Penrose is an absolute superstar, how long of a leash does he have until Bill Villa goes to his bench, either at that position or one of the others? Boston just kind of needing a different look right now. That serve missed way out of bounds by Keller. And here is one. Alex Raskin, number 23 in purple, enters the match again, but as a service sub, replacing Oshman. Raskin, a kid that I coached when he was playing collegiate club at Michigan. Routine first team all Big Ten selection. Good left arm and a nice serve off the bench there. Hosley deflects off the block. Big opportunity here for Penrose in transition. What a dig by Nick Smith. Down the line, Borsay makes no doubt about that one. A really nice swing and an excellent delivery from Colin Ritter. And Raskin will get a chance to serve again from that left sideline, leaving himself the option to hook it all the way across the court to position 5 with that left-handed jump spinner. That's exactly where he goes, but Glamek leaves it comfortably 1 or 2 tiles out of bounds. So the service sub is undone for Boston and one inserted here for Team LVC. No, this actually isn't a service sub. This is a straight-up setter substitution. We saw this earlier in the match against Chicago. The legendary Eric Martin, 48 years of age, at only 5'6", able to play at this high of a level. Look at the diving play right on cue. But Glamek can't quite pick up the second touch. Martin, nicknamed E, from Virginia, went to James Madison, just an East Coast legend of the volleyball community. And make no mistake, this dude can dish the rock. One of the best pairs of hands you'll ever see. Big attack to Smith right on cue, but an even better read by Jake Modesto again, who's made 2 great plays in this match, anticipating the big attack. I talked about earlier how I love both of these teams using that as an in-system offensive option. But when you used it enough, the blockers really start to respect it and anticipate it, and Modesto did that time. Not a great pass by Glamek. It's going to end up being an ace as Martin calls for help, but his teammates don't quite give it to him in time. Boston now back within 5, 12-17. Ritter again handled pretty well by Fishman. Hosley is absolutely clamped by Jalen Penrose, one of the biggest blocks of the entire weekend. I don't know. LVC complaining about a call. I think they wanted a net violation. I did not see one. I thought that was a perfectly clean and rather massive stuff block from Jalen Penrose. The point will stay with Boston. And Team LVC going to call timeout here. Struggling a little bit to get out of rotation 1 after inserting a different setter. Thinking their lead was pretty comfortable. Boston trying to push them back against it, though. Down by 4. Be right back out of the timeout. substitution out of the timeout for Team LVC. Number 14 in black, Chris Hoosman coming in again for Chris Hosley, probably just for this one rotation like I talked about earlier, just to take an opposite, not great at hitting on the left side out of rotation 1 for this one side out. E has to take the ball off the tape. Nice back set. Wow. Pulled down the line by Hoosman. Dug really well. This is Penrose out of system with the left hand. Better look this time offensively for LVC. And Martin to Witkowski results in the middle put away. Nice set by Witkowski earlier in that rally. Hoosman now back to the bench with Hosley coming back in at the opposite. Glamek with his team up by 5, going for the jump spinner this time. And it's an ace against Brad Borsay. Boston unable to fish that one out before it goes underneath the net. And never a bad idea to serve the front row outside hitter. Borsay in this case passing and hitting on the right side in this rotation only for Boston. Barely missed short that time on the jump serve by Glamek. The run in set number 1, where Boston generated a lot of the momentum that I was hoping they would carry towards this set, came in this rotation. Brad Borsay serve. Good pass from Fishman. Tipped over by Witkowski and harmlessly to the floor. No defender quite able to make the play. Good adjustment by number 8 in black. He goes back to serve. And AJ there coming from the right sideline in rotation 2. Likes to cut that ball back to his right. The spacing or the timing unable to let him do so that time. One-handed set from Ritter. Ooh, nice set from Hosley in transition. Through the block by Glamek. Did he get the touch? Yes, he did. Nice diving play there by the middle blocker Witkowski too. Middle. Hey, middle defense, huh? 21-14 LVC on the verge of a 2-0 set lead. A good short serve there. Clips the tape, takes Castillo totally out of the offense. I'm not sure what part of that ball hit first. Ruling is that it hit the antenna before the block. I think that's a good call. Our officials are going to talk about this. Tough play to call. I'm not sure if that Penrose attack hit the Nick Smith block first or the antenna first. It clearly hit both, but which happened first is the key. The call's going to stay with LVC, out of bounds into the antenna first. So 22-14 now, and Witkowski continues to serve. Castillo into the block of Hosley, and Martin can't quite run it down, diving towards his team's bench. Similar story to last game, or last match for the Boston Bounce against Chicago. They played really well, but how are they going to score points on serve? Both LVC and Chicago have out-defended them and out-blocked them in general so far. Oh, there's one. Castillo off speed. Fishman unable to make the read fast enough in defensive transition. So that certainly is one way to score points. Got to do it either with service pressure, with blocking, or defense, or a combination of all of the above. This is Modesto again. See what kind of serve he goes for. We've seen the jump spin and the jump float. Handled really well by Glamek. Martin to Smith. High through the hands of Penrose. Deflects out of bounds. Plus a net violation. And now Christian Smith, the taller setter, comes back in, replacing Martin just to set in the front row. I like that substitution a lot. Bringing Martin in inside out to play the back row and defend. Bringing Smith in to play the front row and block. Hosley now 2 points away from taking set number 2. Penrose on the right side. Really good block touch by Nick Smith. Keller into the block. Good deflection by Icemen. Big opportunity here for Castillo, and he's rejected by Keller and Smith. Christian, that is. I am really impressed by both John Keller and AJ Witkowski. The discipline and the discipline, the instincts, and then the fundamental block moves that they're making all the way to both pins. Not leaving any seams available, pressing over and taking up a lot of space. Icemen out of bounds out of the middle. No touch. That ball completely spatched pretty much. No touch, and that'll do it for set number 2. Just a convincing, comfortable seeming 2-0 set lead for Team LVC. 25-16 the final score there. And Boston really searching for answers here. We knew they'd be jumping in the deep end with these 2 great VLA teams in Boston's first VLA competition. But it's up to them to use their depth and their experience to figure out how to get a set on the board here. We'll be right back with set number 3. If you want us to.
I'm going to match here. 12 on the match, so just maybe we can, if you want, we could slide it into the back room, out of the way, but you might have to take it down.
Yeah. Set number 3 coming your way. I noticed right away number 16 in purple, Skylar Kaufman. Middle blocker for bounce. Replaces, I'm not sure who he's replacing, maybe Modesto. That's served by Ritter out of bounds, and LVC on the board first here. No lineup changes for New York on the far side of your screen. Christian Smith starts us off setting. Borsay on the right side. What a high, beautiful contact point that is. Looked like he didn't even know that the block was there, and he didn't even care, even if he did know. Let's see if Borsay ends up shouldering more of an offensive load, for his team in this set. And we know that he can serve. That's a good one working down the line. Hosley tipped over, handled by Ritter. Out of system offense coming here. This is Penrose. Has to send over a free ball. Glamick on the right side. What a dig by Borsay. Kaufman out of the middle. Another dig and tapped over by Witkowski. Did he reach over the plane? No, he did not. A legal play there. And a Team LVC point. Kaufman for bounce. Number 16 in purple. 6'9" out of MIT. Big size. A lot of really good size players here for Boston. Not including Josue Castillo at 6'1", but he is so explosive. We've already seen his range. Straight down the line, sharp cross-court angle. That time beats the block of Hosley down the line. 2-2, Kaufman's first look at the service line. Really good pass. Witkowski tipped out of the middle again. Diving play made by Ritter, but overpassed. Witkowski again. Nice block touch that time by Oshman, but not quite good enough to be run down by either Kaufman or Borsay. By the way, guys, you want any more info about these teams, about the schedule, about the rosters, all that and more on the VLA website linked in the description. Good pass by Castillo. Big attack to Borsay. Oh, but he misses it short into the net. A big missed opportunity. The whole left side of the court was open for him to swing at that time. Brought it down just a tiny bit too much. LVC takes a big point on serve, and they're up 4-2. That is until the Witkowski service error. Let's see if it's time for Penrose to make a difference here from the service line. Tosses it high and just goes up and gets it. Good rip there. Handled really well by Fishman. What a block by Ritter, but an even better cover. Oshman is rejected out of the middle by John Keller. What a sequence that was. A great block from bounce, but a miraculous cover. I believe it was actually Keller that covered that ball. And then he makes an equally good blocking move against Oshman for the LVC point. That was a cool play. Hosley for LVC. Perfect pass. Oh, dumped to the floor, but out of bounds by Ritter. I agree with that call. I think that missed the sideline. Good look on the setter dump. Ritter in the front row, fully eligible to attack that ball in two. Just happened to miss it wide that time. Definitely a rare mistake. A rare service error that time by Chris Hosley. Don't see that every day. Castillo with his team down by 2, 4-6, rotation 4, receive for the Legion. Good rip that time, handled pretty well by Glamick. Hosley out of the back row, down the line, dug by Castillo, but right on the net. What a play by Apria. Penrose out of the back row, stabbed that off the block touch by Glamick. Smith through a seam. Nick Smith is playing a great match of volleyball right now. And I really think that the setter-hitter connection between Ritter and Penrose is all about, and I think Jalen's telling him right now, is that Ritter's been setting the ball to Penrose too far outside the sideline, especially out of the back row. Penrose good enough to make those adjustments. But LVC doing a great job taking up a lot of space. Nice read that time by Keller, but well watched out of bounds as it travels just long of the Boston bounce end line. Smith to Hosley out of the back row, dug by Castillo, but as he spins, the ball clips him and heads back to the end line, and another kill for the 39-year-old Chris Hosley. This is John Keller serving for Team LVC, up by 3, 8-5. Borsay into the block of Smith and out of play, right into the antenna. Nice piece of offense there. And I love the way that Ritter's setting his outside hitters. He gets up there, releases it fast, really quick, consistent. But the connection to Penrose just hasn't quite been there yet for the Boston Bounce. A lot of time left, though. They trail by 2 only. Good pass there from Glamick. Has to send over a free ball. Big opportunity here for Boston. Penrose on the right side, and that is the ball that he needs. Excellent adjustment there by Colin Ritter, taking Penrose's feedback and leaving that ball further inside the antenna to give him all of his shots. And that high of a contact point, not a lot you're going to be able to do to stop that. 7-8, Boston within 1. Oh, service error, though, that time by Ritter. Back to some good rotations here for New York with Christian Smith serving. Perfect pass by April. Wow, what a set that was by Ritter to Kaufman. A very interesting approach path there. Kaufman kind of stutter stepping and then jumping sideways. Well, I guess when you're 6'9", you can kind of do some different things. Mixing up your approach path, or I don't know, whatever you want to do. Can't teach height. Good rip by Borsay, working on Glamick. He's pretty much out of the offense. This is Witkowski, dug by Ritter, and on 2 by Castillo. What a play. I wonder if Ritter did that intentionally. He controlled that dig with his hands almost too well, and Castillo totally ready for it. Tied up at 9. Borsay serving again. I like that location there on the front row outside hitter Glamick from last time. This time goes down the line. Overpass by Nick Smith and absolutely crushed by Josue Castillo on the overpass. Bounce takes their first lead, I don't know, since very early on in any of the sets so far. 10-9. Playing with a little more energy here. I like that. Really good pass that time by Smith. Glamick on the right side, down the line. Not good hand contact, missed it out of bounds, but a net violation by Boston. A huge mistake. I believe it was Castillo that touched the net, gave LVC a free point. Big break for New York. Glamick here serving. Which serve is he going to go after? It's going to be the jump spin. This will be Castillo against 2 big blockers. What a cover by Kaufman. Penrose with not much transition. Blocked by Smith. Can he run this down? Borsay can. Somehow able to be sent over again. Hosley high into the hands. Penrose misses it out of bounds. What a sequence. Crazy play. My table got knocked over by Brad Borsay sliding into it. But just some incredible volleyball at the time. Great hustle. LVC does eventually walk away with a point, though. Tied up at 11. This is Kaufman serving. Working on Glamick. Not a great pass. This will be Hosley against 2 big blockers. Into the block of Oshman, but covered. Way inside on that set, but an even better swing by Christian Smith's brother, Nick. High into the hands of Oshman and out of play. Really smart offense there. LVC with a narrow advantage. Witkowski back at the service line. Oh, nice delivery again. Another dig from Witkowski. Smith into the hands. Barely kept alive, but sent out of bounds across, rolling over the tape by Icemen. And look at the defense, even by middle blockers that LVC is playing. Just such a high level and experienced strength of our VLA Tier 1 teams that we've really seen as an advantage so far for both the LVC and the Icemen. Good rip there by Castillo cross court. The blocking fundamentals, the touches that they're able to generate, and then the transition from defense to offense has been incredibly impressive from both LVC and Chicago so far today, and it has absolutely been a difference. Here's Penrose with an absolute hammer of a serve. Glamick out of the back row, dug by Apria. And an even bigger block, that's John Keller, who rejects Josue Castillo. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. A really good defensive play that time made by Jordan Apria, the Boston libero. But the block from the team LVC just a little bit too good. And it looks like a 6-2 double substitution coming in here. Chris Hoosman in at the opposite, Eric Barton in at setter. So keeping a front row opposite, back row setter. You'll see if the offense changes it off for LVC. What a play that time. Oh, Martin with a diving stab. Icemen, another dig, this time by Fishman. Penrose out of the back row, off the tape, another dig by Martin. Free ball here for Boston, they've got to have this. Castillo, and they do not. Misses it out of bounds off the tape, no touch. Wow, the level of defense that Team LVC is playing right now is just overwhelming the Boston Bounce. This is the most competitive set so far of the three. But you can tell that Boston getting a little bit frustrated, and there's a swing right there. It's a perfect example. Swings that they're making that they are used to scoring points on are not scoring against the block and defense of Chicago and New York as we've seen so far today. And that is such a credit to the level of play really across the VLA so far. Castillo again is rejected. Hoosman got most of that one with Keller there as well. And this is the part where Boston really needs a timeout, and they have one, and LVC is starting to pull away. I'm pretty sure we were tied up at 12, or at the very least tied up at 11 just a minute ago. Now 17-12, and Boston wants to talk it over to try and avoid their second sweep of the day. We'll be right back after the timeout for the conclusion of set 3. Stay tuned. Substitution going to come in here for Bounce out of the timeout. Captain number 17, Jeff Vautrin, who played, I thought, really well this morning against Chicago, or earlier this afternoon. He replaces Castillo, who also has had a good match in my opinion. We'll see if the captain can inject some energy. We'll figure out a way to claw back against this recent LVC run. Wow, one-handed set from Ritter, rolled over by Vautrin. Where does Martin go here? Outside to Smith, nice block touch. Ooh, Icemen with the set. But a good block touch by LVC keeps it alive. Martin again to Nick Smith. Does he get the touch on its way out of bounds? No, not quite. Good looking swing. Did not miss the hands or the deep cross court corner by much. But it is finally a Boston point and the run is over. So a good timeout by Coach Bill Villa and company. Here's Vautrin off the bench. How warm can he be? How hard can he go after this jump serve? Pretty good rip. Beautiful pass, though, by Smith. And Keller hammered through the block of Icemen and down on the Boston side. (18-13). LVC has really pulled away recently here in this set number 3. Already up 2-0. Excellent serve that time by Nick Smith. This is Borsay against 2 blockers. Nice roll shot, picked up off the block touch. Martin to Glamick, cross court, and he terminates it. Regardless of which setter we've seen for Team LVC, Smith or Martin, the LVC offense, especially in transition, has not skipped a beat. And I got to give Nick Smith a ton of credit. This kid can play. In his first action with Team LVC this weekend, he has been really impressive. 19-13 New York. See if Smith goes at Ritter down the line, or not Ritter, excuse me, Borsay down the line again. That is where he goes, but clips the tape and misses it wide. Let's see what Oshman's got from the service line. Rotation 2 receive here now after the double substitution. Not a good service error there. Missed well out of bounds. Not very good hand contact. So Martin and Hoosman remain in the game for LVC. And I see Chris Hosley warming up again in the distance. So it looks like the original setter and opposite duo is going to come back in the next rotation. But first, the serve of John Keller for Team LVC. Great pass by Vautrin. Wow, crunched crossbody on the back one by Skylar Kaufman. Beautiful piece of offense there. Look at the size of Skylar Kaufman. Not only tall at about 6'9", but built and strong and a good arm. 15-20 now. Setter Colin Ritter trying to jumpstart his team from the service line. Good floater there, and right on cue, and a serve. That nasty little hybrid can really get teams. I like this serve a lot. He can choose, based on the way he tosses it or what he's feeling at the time, to hit that spinning toss either with spin or with none at all. That time going for the float option gets the better of Glamick. Same serve that time, handled better. This is all the way quick to the right side to Hoosman, but that ball into the antenna on its way down the line. So a little run here off the serve of Colin Ritter, now 17-20. Again, going down the line of Glamick, an excellent pass. Hoosman again, cross court dug by Ritter. Penrose only able to send over a free ball. Glamick, great block touch by Penrose. Jalen against 3 blockers, over the top, fingertips, gets a piece of Nick Smith defensively. And that is what we've been waiting to see pretty much all match long out of Jalen Penrose. Bringing bounce within 2. And forcing the LVC timeout now 2018. This is not over yet. What will CJ Dank dial up out of this timeout to get one side out? I think 1, maybe 2 side outs. All they need to get their original setter opposite combo back in the match for Team LVC. But this serve of Ritter, Colin Ritter here for Boston, has really keyed something for them. (18-20), a pivotal moment here in this match. Can Bounce complete the comeback, or can LVC put their foot back on the gas? Another tough pass. What a set by Hoosman. My goodness, what a beautiful push all the way across the court from Hoosman to Dan Glamick, who puts it away off the block of Penrose. And a big side out there out of the timeout by Team LVC. And yes, indeed, the original setter opposite combo does come back in here. Christian Smith to serve and Chris Hosley to the front row. 21-18, a classic score that teams simulate in practice from both sides. Good block that time by Witkowski, but kept alive. This will be Penrose against two blockers, and he's rejected by Glamick. Again, Glamick definitely getting the better of that individual matchup so far. Both attacking and blocking versus Penrose. Not what I would have predicted. Now 22-18. Teams, I'm not kidding, teams practice simulating 21-18, terminating on those leads and coming back from the deficits. And basically an ace serve there for Christian Smith. Off a pretty benign float serve, gets the better of Jordan Apria. Now 23-18. We might be looking at match point here in just a moment. Kaufman crossbody. What a dig by Christian Smith. Hosley into the block. This will be Penrose in transition on the left through assuming the block and down. So Bounce gets out of that rotation, sends a very good server and Brad Borsay back to the line. But all LVC needs is 2 more side outs to win this match and to win it convincingly 3-0. Borsay on Glamick in rotation 1. Nice set choice. Glamick gets up quickly down the line off the shoulder of Apria, but Ritter runs it down. What a play by Bounce. Can they survive again? No, not this time. Glamick too high, too hard. Off the deflection of the block and the defense. And unfortunately, the Boston hustle play not enough to stop LVC from bringing up match point here. 5 of them, 24-19. We might have to wait until we clean the court off just a little bit. But New York on the verge. In perhaps this budding new East Coast rivalry of taking the first match all time in the series, at least on the VLA stage. The match point claps, accelerating from the LVC bench. Glamick for the match misses it short after the little bit of a delay. So 1 match point saved, and now Skylar Kaufman's going to have to do some serious work from the service line for Boston Bounce to force extras here. Rotation 2 receive, 1 side out for LVC to win the match. Tough pass from Glamick into one of the lights that actually may have saved him. Free ball here for Boston. They've got to have this one, of course. Oshman out of the middle. Another free ball, and actually swatted back by Oshman. Wow, what a play. Don't see that every day. A blocked free ball attempt. Oshman staying home up there in the front row. Who needs free ball offense? We can just block the first ball. So another match point saved, now 21-24. Good short serve by Kaufman, and that's an ace. That kind of dropped off a cliff right after it passed the plane of the net. Right in between, I believe, Fishman and Glamick. And now 22-24. This thing is not over yet. Kaufman again, got to serve in, obviously. Works the right sideline. Smith for the match, and he's rejected by Penrose. Another match point saved. Now this has to be an LVC timeout. Maybe not. Where is Christian Smith going to go to get out of this rotation? Now 23-24. Boston has made this very interesting. No timeout from Team LVC, but still match point. Kaufman again. Good pass by Fishman. Big attack to Glamick. Borsay off the ceiling. Ritter can run it down. No, not quite. Diving play can't quite be made by the scores table. And LVC survives the late push and an impressive fight back from the Boston Bounce in late set number 3. But Team LVC does take the set 25-23. And they win the match 3-0, their first match win of the weekend. After dropping a close one to Chicago this morning, 3-2. So that's it. That'll do it for us for the day. Chicago winning 3-2 over New York. Chicago winning 3-0 over Boston. And New York winning 3-0 over Boston in the afternoon match. Fortunately for you all volleyball fans, we will be back tomorrow with the same 3 teams playing the same 3 matches, just in a slightly different order and slightly different times. We're going to start at 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. With Boston versus Chicago. Then noon Eastern, LVC versus Chicago. 3 p.m. Eastern will be the last match of the weekend with this rematch that you just saw right here. So a lot more volleyball coming your way tomorrow. I'm going to grab one of the LVC guys and try to get their thoughts on the win, on the day so far at large while we're still here on the stream. And then we will see you guys tomorrow morning for the next one. So let's hear the winner's thoughts.
I'm scared we're best friends.
Coach CJ Dink, ladies and gentlemen, of the victorious Team LVC. I know that after this morning's match, you really wanted this one.
Yeah.
And you got it. And I think even with not all your starters, obviously, I was so impressed by both you guys and Chicago all day. The discipline of the block and how that sets up the defense and transition offense is really just another level to your 2 teams. And even though this Boston team is good, they're just not ready for teams that have done it at that high of a level like you guys. Am I the only one that's noticing that key to your success, or is there something else going on there?
No, I mean, that's kind of been our MO forever, right? We're a big blocking team. Our back row defense can be questionable at times. Streaky.
Good today.
Yes, very good, especially this afternoon. The first 2 sets against Chicago, today, this last match. But yeah, I mean, we're a big blocking team. We close a lot of blocks. We've always got size in the middle, guys that can move along the net. And when we're blocking, it makes everything easier. I mean, you know that. Defense starts at the net. And when we do that, it looks like that. And when we go away from it, then we get a little bit sloppy.
Well, when it looks like that, it's convincing.
Yeah.
And it seems like no matter which guys, of your 15 or whatever number of guys you have out there, it looks the same. Like, Keller hasn't played volleyball in a year. AJ hasn't played volleyball probably since July. And those dudes come in and they're making these great disciplined blocking moves and taking up so much space.
Yep.
And then if you insert Lance or Amir, it's the same thing, but even bigger.
Right.
Come on. How can you get away with having all those big dudes that can block the ball so well?
Well, what's funny is, these guys have grown up through LVC, right? They graduate college, and Hosley does a good job of grabbing these guys, and some local guys, some guys from far away. And it just seems like as they're sitting the bench, watching those more experienced blockers play, you pick up tendencies. You get coached by watching. And then when they get their opportunities, the guys on the bench do a great job of coaching them up when they're there. It's not just me, Jesse, Charles. It's those guys that are giving little hints, talking about eye work, talking about footwork. And then you see them gradually grow. And like you said, I mean, Dan Glamick hasn't played in 2 years, right? I mean, with COVID and everything else going on, most of these guys maybe in the last couple of weeks have played, but other than that, it's just going back to riding a bike, right?
It's difficult.
It is difficult, but it's getting back in the gym and then feeling good and confident. And again, those guys have been doing it for years and years and years, and it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to watch, and a team with Boston Bounce's level of talent, they're going to be just fine. But I think it proves that there's really levels to this thing. There's levels to the maturity that you're talking about, the experience, the coaching coming from everywhere, not just from the people wearing polos on the sidelines.
Correct.
And it's really fascinating for me to break that down as I watch it, because it's obvious to me that because you guys have been together for so long, and because so many of your guys have been wearing these stupid flamingos for so many years, that there's just a way that your team plays.
Yes.
And it's awesome to me. It's what I love about all the teams in the VLA, is that they all have identities, they all have these cultures, they all go back so many years.
Yep.
It's so cool to me to see that. And so when we get it in the gym, which we've been waiting to do for a long time,
Thank God we're back.
it's just so satisfying. I don't know. I don't really think there's a question in there. I'm just really happy.
I mean, so are we. Like, right? Like, this is the start of kind of the next thing, which is the VLA Cup coming on the 14th through the 16th. That's going to be huge, right? There's going to be 12 plus teams.
The level's going to be that much higher.
It's going to be fantastic, and it's going to give teams like Boston, it's going to give all these new teams a chance to, hey, this is what you want to do. This is what you want to achieve. And I mean, dude, when LVC started, I played on LVC. I can't play on this team anymore, right? Even if I was younger, I can't play on this team. But that's where we started, and this is what it's become, and it's fantastic to watch. It's cool to be a part of it.
The growth is there. It's cool for me to be a part of it. It's cool to have you guys a part of it. It's cool to have teams like them who are so deep and so talented. They want to be a part of it. They're jumping in the deep end this weekend. They're figuring out what VLA volleyball is all about quickly, and I love that because they're going to be incredible. Like, come on, they're so deep, they're big, they're talented.
Well, they're fast, too.
They're fast.
They're fast. They got speed, man. They got speed, and that was the one thing I was concerned about because, yes, we're a big blocking team, but there can be times where we get a little bit sloppy and we start reaching with our block, but we're very disciplined, so the speed didn't hurt. But as they catch up to what's happening on our side of the net, their block's going to get better, and then they work in that speed on their offense. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a dangerous team. It's going to be a good team.
Agreed. Yeah, we'll see how quickly they can figure that out. It could even be tomorrow because you're going to see him again. So the last thing I want to ask is, you've seen both teams today. You're going to play them both again tomorrow. What's going to be similar? What's going to be different?
You're going to see in the Chicago match, it's going to be a very similar lineup for us. Yeah. I'll give them that. If they're watching, Chicago, guess what? You're going to see the same, pretty much the same team that you saw this morning.
If they're surprised by that, I don't think they're paying
attention. Right, exactly. But it's going to see who can recover, right? Because, again, we haven't had the opportunity to be in the gym all that much. So who's going to be able to recover physically and get back in the mentality of, hey, I'm not 100%, but I'm 90% or I'm 85%, and what do I have to do to make that adjustment and continue to win and continue to compete and continue to get better? So, I mean, that's what we're looking for, right? We're going to figure out who's actually ready to go and who's able to handle it. So we'll find out.
Helps to have a bunch of guys, helps to have all that experience, and it just makes it more fun for us as viewers to see you guys do battle over and over again, because the series are more fun to watch, in my opinion. Once you start to figure each other out, the level increases just that little bit much more.
Absolutely. Yeah, because, I mean, tendencies and who's doing what well and where we're going to, because the difference between teams is so small. Right? So, okay, so what are we going to exploit, and what's their weakness? How are we going to try to exploit that, and how are we going to try to hide our weaknesses? And that's the cat and mouse. That's the chess game. That's the fun part.
That's the fun part. That's why volleyball's so cool.
Exactly.
That's why sports are so cool. So, lots to look forward to tomorrow. Congratulations. You guys are on the board. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this weekend. A lot more coming. Let's go eat, huh?
Yeah,
I'm hungry.
Nice
Thanks, buddy.
Absolutely good.
Thanks to Coach CJ for hopping on. Love hearing his perspective about his team. He's absolutely right. The caliber of volleyball being played is only going to continue to increase. These teams that have been a part of it for so long, teams that are learning what it's like to play at this level, the discipline, the execution, the athleticism, it's just must-watch TV. So if you liked what you saw today, tune in tomorrow. Going to be a lot more great volleyball starting at 9 a.m. Again, schedule in the description, schedule on the website. Check us out everywhere. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And we will see you tomorrow morning. I'm Rob Sinclair. See you tomorrow.